Why don't you take a second and think about this? Imagine a young lady, she gets married, and the first day of her marriage, she realized that she is second. She's not loved. In fact, she's even hated. Imagine the pain. Let's take it one step further. Imagine her husband is the greatest man who's ever lived on this planet, whose picture is on the Kisei HaKavod. And I'm talking about Yaakov Avinu, and I'm talking about Leah Imenu. The Torah teaches us, Vayar Hashem kisnu aleya. Hashem saw that when Yaakov was tricked into marrying Leah, that Yaakov had an element of Sina for Leah. Now, all the commentators explain it wasn't outward Sina, it wasn't outward hatred. But anybody can imagine that if you work 7 years to marry somebody and then you're tricked at the last minute, and this was the relationship which is destined to build the Jewish people from. Yaakov assumed he's going to build the Jewish people from Rachel, that he would be very disappointed. And even though there was no outward hatred shown, only Hashem saw this pain, but still it was extremely, extremely painful. How are we going to deal with this? Is Hashem going to get us out of this problem? And most importantly, the Gemara in Bava Basra tells us that people said Yaakov and Esav are the two sons of Yitzchak, and Leah, the two daughters of Laban. The two sons wind up with the two daughters. Leah was destined to marry Esav, and she cried her eyes out. Leah's eyes were soft with tears because of the great pain that she had to marry. She's going to have to marry Esav. How are you going to do? Stop Yaakov from divorcing Leah, and to make sure she doesn't wind up with Esav, and to make sure the six primary shvatim, the six primary tribes of the Jewish people are going to be mothered through Leah. How are we going to do this? Hashem saw that the pain was of Leah. Now, not only do we have to get rid of the possibility that Yaakov's going to divorce Leah and make sure these six shvatim may come about, but we have, for the rest of her life, a potential situation of devastating pain for Leah to be second to Yaakov. How are we going to make sure that she doesn't live a life of intense suffering? How are we going to alleviate the suffering that Leah is going to have over here? So this is V'yar Hashem kisnu Leah yiftachas rachma. A person needs love. A person cannot live in a relationship where they're hated and go through their life as a normal person. Hashem understood that Leah was going to be hated in this relationship. If it was not outward hatred, it was going to be subtle hatred that existed. And not even hatred, not the intense love that a husband, especially Yaakov Avinu, the epitome of perfection, could give, and that he would give over to Rachel Imenu. How are we going to prevent this? We're going to give Leah Imenu children. We're going to give her 6 children, so Leah Imenu can express her intense feelings of love to her children. That's number 1. But number 2 is, after 3 children were born, and she still felt pain. She still felt pain. Hashem should see my pain. Hashem should hear my pain. At least my husband should walk with me. Right? Finally, by the 4th son, Hapam Odes Hashem, Leah Imenu realizes that as painful as it is to have a reality, her husband doesn't love her as much as he loves his co-wife. Yeah, but a person can establish a beautiful, deep, existential relationship with a Kadosh Baruch Hu and replace that intense pain with love of Hashem. Most people who have an intense relationship with Hashem is because they have pain. If you go through Tehillim, David HaMelech, pasuk after pasuk, verse after verse, pain, 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 right? Zakti Alecha Hashem, right? Hashem, David HaMelech is screaming, right, and crying, right? Hafasta mispadil mochali, turn my sackcloth into dancing. David HaMelech says over and over and over again how much pain he has, and that pain translated itself. It turned itself into a beautiful relationship with Hashem. It's true. V'yar Hashem kisnu aleya, v'yiftachas rachma. Hashem saw the intense pain. He said, "I'm going to open up her womb. I'm going to give her 6 children that she can love. I'm going to make a situation where she has to turn to me and have perhaps one of the most powerful and intense relationships of love between a person and Hashem. The relationship of Leah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the point where the Gemara in Bracha 7b says that there was never anybody in the history of the world who thanked Hashem until Leah came along. The relationship that Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Noach, Adam, and any person from that time had was not as deep as the relationship with as Leah to be moted to Hashem. Because Leah had the pain. She had the difficulty. She was supposed to marry Esav, and she realized, and it didn't happen. She was Yaakov Vinu's wife, but she was Snua. She had such a difficult life. Yet she took all those feelings of pain and she channeled them to a Baruch Hu, and she made an intensely deep and a close relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And this is Vayarashav Kisnu Aleya, Vayiftach Esrach. We can all do this. Many of us out there have difficult relationships. It might be with your parents, it might be with your children, it might be with your spouse, it might be with your neighbors, it might be with anybody. Pain. People insult you, they curse you, they say terrible things to you, they act to you terribly. You don't have to perpetuate this relationship. Speak to Das Torah. Find out what's the right thing to do in any of these relationships. Yeah. But while you're there and while you're feeling that pain, take that pain and channel it to Hashem. Hashem gave you that pain for a reason. It has nothing to do with that person. The Gra says, and Mishnah, Yud Al Tes, and other places as well. Yeah. Hashem gave you that pain because He wants you to use that pain to recognize that the only true love is the love between Hashem and a person. Right? That's the only true, that's the only real love. Right? As my friend Gabi Sasson told me, used to tell his children before they were died in the fire, right? Who loves you more than anyone else is Hashem. The deepest love that it's possible to have between Hashem and a person. And at times Hashem will put a person into tremendous pain. Give them relations of tremendous pain because He wants you to take that pain and channel it. And that's a Pam Odis Hashem. Blame Him to use that pain to come closer and closer to Hashem and recognize through that pain all the good that she was given. And there was no woman in the history of mankind or womankind was given the gifts that Leah Menu was given to be the progenitor of Yehuda, of Malchus and Levi, and Levuah and Yisachar and Zvulun, all partnerships for Torah for future generations. Ruvain, Shimon, all the 6 Shvatim that she was given. There's no greater gift a person can give because the amount, as the Zohar says, more darkness that exists, the more lights will be in your life. Right? So if you are one of those people, you're one of these people in pain, you're not alone. Hashem is feeling pain. He's been banished 2,000 years from His house. He wants us to feel pain as well. Right? And therefore, we're now in a war, and there's still many, although we're very happy that some of the captives have been freed, but there's still Jews in captivity. There's still soldiers in Gaza who don't know what's going to be. There's still parents of soldiers who don't know if their children are going to come home. Right? There are people in caustic relationships every day, suffering and crying. Everyone out there is in pain. Hashem gave you that pain because He wants you to turn to Him and realize the infinite love that He has for you. So let's all try our best to take these feelings of pain and channel them to the Borei and feel the infinite love, to tap in to the infinite love that He has for us and bring His Shekhinah back. On the day that the Shekhinah comes back to the Beis HaMikdash, there will be intense joy. Chazal tell us, Hazerim Bedima Barina Yiksaru, that whoever sows with tears, whoever cries on the ground and plants and feeds and nurtures the plants with tears, they will rejoice on the day the Beis HaMikdash is rebuilt. The level of your simcha, of your happiness that will exist when the Beis HaMikdash is rebuilt is according to the pain that you feel now. If you feel pain that the Shekhinah is not here, that we can't come here to this very wall and have 10 open miracles happen. About the pain that we feel that Hashem's presence is banished. I thought we'd have it. I'll close with a story from my Rebbe Rebbe. There was a wedding of a Yisoma, of an orphan girl, and someone paid for the wedding. It was beautiful. The most beautiful hall, the most beautiful dress, the most beautiful food. Everything was beautiful. The chassid was a tremendous person. But the mother was crying. And the cow said, my husband, he doesn't find favor in your eyes. She said, no, I love your husband. But how can I be happy when your father's not here? This is how we all have to feel. Our father's not here. How would be happy? Avinu Avraham, come back. And it's all contingent on us. You should know. Hashem brought the situation the hostage is about. We don't know Hashem's ways are infinite, but it's for sure to soften our hearts and to realize that we are one people. The Jewish people are one people. We have to feel for each other. We have to open our hearts. We have to clean our hearts from any impurity. And then the Shekhinah will rest in us. The base of nation will come back quickly. Amen. Came through its